Well, hello, friends and reptile lovers. It's Joel, and as you see, I've got one glove on. Well, you know what that means? It's not that I'm doing a Michael Jackson impersonation, no, although that would probably be entertaining. It means it is egg cutting time. Yes, it is that time of year where things are starting to heat up. Unfortunately, there'll be a couple more weeks before we have another one. This clutch actually pipped a little bit early. So right now is day 57, but I came in this morning early before I headed off to work, and I saw that one of the babies had pipped already. At least one more that I could tell has pipped. So now that it's evening time and kind of settling down for the day, got all the snakes fed, it's now time to take a peek inside and see what we've got. This is an awesome clutch. These parents I've paired before several times in the past. This is a blue-eyed leucistic clutch. I've got lesser on one side and bamboo on the other, so it won't be all blue-eyed leucistics, but hopefully the odds will be in our favor and we'll get some sprinkled in there. 2 or 3 at least would be nice. But one great thing about this clutch, although the combinations aren't as exciting as our last clutch, this is our biggest clutch of the season with 11 eggs. It was an amazing clutch. If you saw the pulling video, you might have remembered the history on this mom. She is a lesser pewter, which last year actually gave me some trouble. She actually had, she became egg bound. So she had 10 eggs in her and they were huge, like huge. So she was able to pass 8 on her own. She passed another one after I discovered she was egg bound. I had to do like some massaging and soaking stuff. She passed one more, but one was stuck tight and would not come out. And eventually I had to actually drain that egg from inserting a needle through her abdominal wall into the egg and suck out 74 milliliters of fluid, which is a lot. And thankfully, a few days after that, she was able to pass the egg with no problem. Sometimes, though, that can actually cause a female to become sterile. So that was a question mark going into this breeding season, but she gave us 11 fertile eggs. Awesome, big, strong, healthy eggs. They all look good. I took the press and seal off a couple days ago, and I did discover a little bit of fuzzy white mold on some of them, but that wiped right off. Typically, that type of mold is not a big risk unless you just leave it unchecked for a long time. So definitely got it cleaned off, but since it was so close, I mean, it was only 2 days ago, I wasn't really concerned, and we got babies pipping now, so we're about to turn around, take a look. Hopefully we'll see some white eyes with, or white eyes, some white snakes with blue eyes and some other cool patterns, just like we've gotten from this pairing in the past. So what are we waiting for? Let's get into it. I know that's what you came for anyway. All right, so here we go. You probably can't read that, but this is a bamboo black pastel pinstripe yellow belly, which we discovered is het cryptic. To our lesser pewter. Pewter is pastel and cinnamon. So hopefully we'll get a mixture of light and dark babies here. I'm going to take a little sneak peek. Looks like just the 2 have pipped. You can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but a few of these have a little bit of that fuzzy white mold I was talking about. So definitely plenty of humidity in here. This one initially looks like a blue-eyed leucistic, but it's got definite head pattern and eye stripe, so be interesting to see what we find when we take it out. Number 5 here is also pipped. That's the one I saw this morning with his head sticking right out the side here. So anyway, we're going to start at 1. We'll work our way up. We'll save lucky number 7, 7th level reptiles. We'll save that one for last. Out of fun. Now, a couple days ago when I was taking the press and seal off and I was gently trying to clean this one here, I could feel the baby like moving around inside. So that's always cool. These eggs feel really soft. So hopefully the mold on the outside is not indicative of a problem inside. But sometimes you can't tell until you open them up. And I'm going to be honest, this one does not look good. This one doesn't look real good to me. I can't say for sure. I'm not getting much reaction. We're going to put it to the side and we'll see if that egg is viable or not. The downside when you're breeding is sometimes things don't go according to plan. Sometimes there's a reason for it. Sometimes there's not. It's just one of those things that happen. And I'm not 100% sure But that may be a stillborn baby in that egg, which is a very, very sad way to start. I really felt like I was feeling a reaction from it 2 days ago, and so that's a little disappointing. It's a lot disappointing, actually. But we're going to try and continue on and focus on the positive here and keep it upbeat for you guys. And let's see what egg number 2 holds. Ooh, pretty baby. Pretty. Definitely some cinnamon bamboo going on there, but I'll be honest, again, this one doesn't seem to be reacting a lot. It could be a black pastel cinnamon combo. Sometimes those create some birth defects. I've had a fair amount of success in the past with them, but again, this baby is not really reacting. Has some constitution in its body, so I'm not hopeless there, but so far not looking real great. And I felt movement in that one just now, which is a good sign. But this this one must have pipped on its own, because as I squeezed to make a cut, I probably saw that it popped out the side there. So hopefully that's a good sign that this one is moving around and ready to hatch and was trying to get out on its own, and I just didn't see the cut there. I really hope, because this looks like a pretty snake. Hey, buddy. And that's definitely a pewter, or a lesser, I think lesser pewter. Definitely got reaction there, so that's very encouraging, and that's going to be a good one when it comes out. I bet that is going to be such a beautiful animal. Hey there, buddy. Just stuck his head out to say hi to me, but went right back in. So number 4, obviously, we can tell has been reacting. Is your head stuck? I'm going to help you, bud. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be real gentle. I'm getting this vermiculite all over my hands. All right, let's see if we can't free you here. Let me help you out. So again, these are blunt tip scissors. So I'm kind of gently trying to get it up where he's stuck, but he's stuck pretty good. You know, they can push their nose through, but then their jaws are wider, so sometimes they have trouble getting back in. So we'll do our best here to free our little buddy here. I know you're stuck. All right. Being super, super cautious. No, I need that part that you just pulled away. I need to break it. There we go. All right. Cool. It's interesting. It doesn't quite look lucified. So I'll be interested to see how it crawls out, though sometimes different combinations can cause extra pattern or darkness to show up in a blue-eyed leucistic. But we'll just wait. There's definitely cinnamon or black pastel in that animal. Looking at the pattern, I'm leaning towards cinnamon, but those two can be somewhat challenging to distinguish from each other. I did a video last year showing a base black pastel and a cinnamon, just to show you kind of the differences. But this baby obviously is doing okay. Cut its way out, but these eggshells just feel kind of weird. So hopefully, that's kind of goopy and murky, but hopefully this would be, I believe in cinnamon. But again, it'll be easier to tell once they come out and we can see the pattern more fully. All right, well, so rough start. The last 3 have all been good. Hopefully number 2 is okay and just shy. Let's hope that this trend continues. This is really the first hiccups that we've run into, and hopefully I'm just jumping the gun there. I really don't think that number one is going to make it, but hopefully the rest are. And this is beautiful. I believe this is a black pewter, so a black pastel, possibly some other stuff mixed in there, maybe yellow belly, maybe not. But again, hard to tell inside the egg. We'll see once he gets out of there. And I know that this is kind of taking a while because there's a lot of eggs here, and we got a little bit of investigating we had to do. So we'll try and pick up the pace here. We'll skip lucky number 7, and we'll go right on to the next one. As we're going through here and you're watching, thank you, first of all. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment down below, and I'll do my best to get you some answers if it's actually a question. All right, another blue-eyed something. And is responsive. See if I can get his little nose there. Pretty little baby. That'll be so many of these. And it's always the case, and I try and guess them every time anyway, but a lot of these we really need to see outside of the egg to try and figure out what exactly is going on in there, and that's part of the fun. So y'all have to stick around, stay tuned, so that we can get you some updates on this clutch as time goes on, and we'll walk through it together. Ooh, beautiful lesser something. I think something. It could just be a lesser, probably a pastel lesser. I can't see the head. Head would help determine if that pastel, but based on the lightening in the sides and belly, I'm going to guess that's a pastel lesser, which is a very simple kind of, some people would say basic combo, but just makes a really, really pretty animal. I need another paper towel here, bear with me, but just a real pretty animal. And the cool thing about it, as the ball python market has grown, is you can get a pretty animal like that pretty affordably these days. So that's always cool. Always like to have ones like that. All right, number 10 is a little squishy to me. Oh, and maybe, did you see it came out? So I'm not sure if that was a pip spot or if it was just a weak, thin spot in the egg that came open when I started to squeeze to try and give myself a pinch to cut. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. That is a 8-ball. I believe bamboo 8-ball. And you're moving. He's reacting. If that's what I think it is. Oh my gosh. Hey, little buddy. Let me see if I can turn you to see this little guy. I'm going to get this little dude here. He was just waving his head back and forth. So we'll let you look at him for a second while I talk and kind of clean up. Isn't that cool? He's like checking it out. You taking your first breaths? How about give us a yawn? I see that tongue flick. So cool. You checking out your brother or sister there? Okay, that's enough. I'm tired. Let me rest now. Really cool. So that last one looks super nice. I produced a bamboo 8-ball a few years ago actually, that was just perfect. Like I said, black pastel and cinnamon combination is referred to as an 8-ball. It's an all black snake, white belly. But unfortunately, sometimes those genes mix together and they create issues with either kinking or duck billing and jaw deformity. So there's always like a risk with it. Looks like we have another bell here. And let's see. That's just the tail curved up there. Again, this one has good body constitution, like there's resistance, but I'm not getting a whole lot of movement. So that's going to be another one to really watch and see, is there an issue that what's going on under the surface. Hopefully not. I don't know how I'm gonna fit all these. I had them all in here, but I'm having trouble fitting these all in my crawl out container. So we'll try and finagle them a little bit to get them all to fit. All right. Sorry, I promise once I get this last one cut, we'll pan around and we'll show you what we've got over here in the crawl out box, as I call it. This stuff is so, you can see how it's sticking to everything. I like to move them over off of that so that it doesn't get everywhere once they start crawling out. And the Lignocell that I've got them on, which is a hardwood chips, helps greatly in absorbing the odor of the eggs. You know, once they're open, they kind of get a little funky. Last one, and upside down, another baby, another 8-ball combo. I think this might be a blue-eyed leucistic 8-ball. So I'm going to look real carefully. I don't see an egg tooth, but definitely reacted to that. I don't know if you could see that. My finger might have been in the way. I don't see an egg tooth. I don't feel an egg tooth. So this may be one that would not have been able to make it out of the egg. And so that's one of the big reasons why I do these egg cuttings, is because sometimes they can't get out on their own. And if they stay in there too long, they could drown. And so here's the final product. Most of these seem to be great. I'm really, really curious about this one specifically to see him out. But we've got 3 that, to be honest, I'm just kind of questionable about. But we're going to give them some time, put them back in the incubator. Get them back in the incubator until they can crawl out. That'll give them some time to absorb the remainder of the fluid, and then hopefully they'll crawl out on their own, and we'll find out more in the next, I would say, 2 days. Probably most of them probably won't crawl out. Tomorrow, maybe the couple that pipped are a little bit more ready, but these are a couple days behind or ahead of schedule, so I'll give them plenty of time. We'll set them right up front so I can look through the glass every morning and afternoon when I get home from work, or evening when I get home from work, just to see how they do, check them out. And once they're all out, then we'll kind of clean them up and we'll take a closer look. I will share that with you guys either on this same video or at a later date. But hey, what's up, folks? It is 3 days later from the clutch cutting, and I believe all the babies now, or at least most of them, have crawled out. Sometimes they'll crawl out and actually go back to their egg just because it feels comfortable, but I think all the absorption is done and everybody's ready to come out and get cleaned up and put away. So very excited to share this with you, especially given the concern and worry that we had in the clutch cutting, which for me was 3 days ago. For you, it was just a few moments. I came into the snake room the next morning after I cut the clutch, and I popped the light on in the incubator, and I had set those 3 eggs I was really worried about. Honestly, I thought 2 of them were definitely stillborn, and I thought 1 might not be doing so well. And so I set those all 3 together on one side, and when I checked on them the following morning, I actually discovered that all 3 of those eggs, the babies had turned their bodies and stuck their noses out. So they actually were alive and were moving, which was a huge sigh of relief. It was exciting to see. Like, I ran inside and told my wife, all 3 of those babies had their noses out, so maybe they're going to be okay. We talked about a little bit in the video that there are certain, when you mix black pastel and cinnamon, there is a certain risk for some birth defects. I did notice that one of the babies does have a little bit of a cleft lip. It doesn't appear to me that it'll be one that'll prevent him from eating and being able to hopefully grow and thrive like any normal ball python, just with a little bit more character. So I've just glanced in. I don't see any serious issues, but I would be remiss if I did not kind of issue a disclaimer or a warning here. I haven't looked at these babies in detail, but there is a possibility that there could be some birth defects. Sometimes those can be severe, which could explain them not coming out or not reacting to the egg. I'm hopeful that that's not the case, but I just want to warn you ahead of time. I know some of you, this might be sensitive to see if you were to see a baby that was deformed. It doesn't happen super often, but it does happen. And, you know, it's not talked about probably as much as it should be, but I want to share it with you live and real. This is the real deal. I'm not going to edit that out. But I do want to warn you just in case, because, you know, there are a clump of snakes together. I haven't really looked at them that closely to know for sure. So just as a warning, it is a possibility, but we'll take a look at them one by one, get them cleaned up, put them over into their clean tub where they can ball up together until it's time for them to shed. It really is one of the cutest things to see this big old gaggle of ball pythons, and this is 11 babies in one clutch. Let me stop talking. Let's take a look. Some of these look amazing, and I can't wait to share them with you guys. All right, so the moment of truth. Let's take a look. Remind you here, this was 11 egg clutch from a bamboo, black pastel, pinstripe yellow belly, het cryptic, to our lesser pewter. Two amazing animals that I've had for a long time. And look at that. Everybody appears to be out of their eggs. Oh, this is so great. So let's take a look here. We'll grab this one here. I started to try and record this, and then my phone died, so I have to redo it. And I'm going to find this one this is egg number 1 right here. The one that I pulled out and I thought absolutely for sure was stillborn. Now, I believe this is a black pastel blue-eyed leucistic. So bamboo, lesser, black pastel, and cinnamon all in one. And you will see here that we have a little bit of kinking. It's very noticeable. There is a little kind of a little swell in that area, but it's right above the belly button where the umbilicus attaches. So that's not necessarily unusual from the swelling standpoint. Sometimes it's a little enlarged in that area at first, but you'll also notice this little joker has a little cone head, which I've had a few like this before, and they've usually done really well. So a little bit more character. This kink, that's the only spot I see that looks off. And it does not look to me like it is to a level of severity where it will greatly affect this animal. So I don't think, I'm going to try and get my water turned on here to clean her off. Got to make sure it's not too hot. But I don't think that she's going to have an issue eating or taking food. Or I'm sorry, eating or being able to get rid of the waste from that kink. But only time will tell. But considering that I thought she was stillborn when I opened the egg, this is a big, big sigh of relief. You can see her little black paradox spots here. That's lignocell or vermiculite, but there's a couple of those black spots. Here, I'm gonna rinse you off, baby. I know you're not gonna like this. Still, maybe a little warm. So I'm just trying to hold them in my hand and kind of rinse the water over them, and then get them put away. I'm not gonna worry about trying to sex that one, especially right now. This one here, I believe, was the other. Yeah, this was the other one that was in one of the eggs that I was concerned was stillborn. And look at that. I don't know exactly what's going on here. I think maybe a bamboo with 8-ball. But I can't say for sure. I'll give it a little bit of time. Now, looking him over, I don't see any kinks or any of that, but you probably already noticed his face is a little bit different. He's got a little cleft lip there, and I've produced a few with that over time. This one does not look really severe, although he flicks his tongue out of the hole in his mouth. This is a really cool looking snake. So I'm so glad that he wasn't stillborn. I have every reason to believe that he'll do completely fine. I don't think that lip deformity should keep him from being able to eat. But we'll tell. Sometimes a cleft lip, and they're just a little bit more hesitant to open their mouth and start eating. So We'll have to see. But this guy is like silver. He might be a lesser 8-ball. In fact, I think looking at the eye stripes, I'm leaning in that direction. But I'll have to do a little research too, because I don't know that I've ever seen a lesser 8-ball. And he's not giving the bamboo vibes. But anyway, really, really cool little fella. And then I think this guy was the other one that we were worried about. This is a bamboo 8-ball, I believe. A little bit of umbilicus still attached. Now he has a little bit of duck billing here, which is a narrowing of his snout. I don't see a cleft, but he definitely is a little narrower there. And he's got this really cool kind of paradox spot on the back of his head. It looks like that's coming through really well. But what a cool looking animal. Actually, I think now as he turned, there actually is a little bit of a kink right here in his neck. So that's going to be one to watch. It's hard to tell. That may be something that could potentially prevent him from eating properly. And so we're going to have to keep a close eye on this guy. Man, that's a shame. He's so beautiful. I really, really, really hope that he'll be able to eat. We will definitely offer him smaller meals to make sure that he can get them down. It looks like it's really hard to tell. It's definitely a kink in there. And the longer I hold him, the more obvious it becomes. So the key for him is definitely going to be, can he pass food? Can he eat successfully? Which, just to be honest, with the area of that kink, it's a question mark. He may not be able to. But he does seem to be moving fairly well. So time will tell. Such a shame. He is such a beautiful snake. This one, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Certainly looks like a blue-eyed leucistic, but very strong pattern coming through. Definitely has, I don't know, I would guess cinnamon. It looks like cinnamon coming through, but if it was a blue-eyed leucistic, I don't think the cinnamon would come through that strongly. But at the same time, got to get that off your head. At the same time, with him being, I don't know, it's really hard. I'm not sure. I've produced blue-eyed leucistics, lesser, it could be black pastel. It could be either one. I have produced bamboo lesser, black pastel, or cinnamons in the past, and none of them had nearly this much visible pattern. So I don't think, I'm not thinking it's, I don't know. I'm going to let him shed and try and hold my judgment. Let's look at a couple others here. This is a beautiful black pastel. Just that single gene expression black pastel, which is such a cool pattern in its own right. I know that is not as fancy as some of the others, but really cool. Always love a good black pastel. Let's see what else we got here. This one is, you kind of hanging out in there, but you should be ready. There's no fluid left. Just kind of seeking comfort. And this is that pastel lesser. I just felt the egg tooth rub against my finger. Pastel lesser. So beautiful. Bright. What a great combo. Like I was saying earlier, I think I remember saying this is a really cool combination because it's just a great looking animal, bright, clean pattern, and yet this day and age, this is a very affordable snake. So if you want a beautiful animal for not a whole lot of money, this is a great option, and there are a few of those in this clutch. Here we have another blue-eyed leucistic. That's a bamboo lesser. And I'm pretty sure something else is in there too. We got a little, is that a little paradox spot maybe? Something else is going on in there too, because I can see this yellow dorsal. That does happen sometimes with bamboo bells, but typically it develops later. typically you don't see it right off the bat. So I'm guessing there's another gene or two at play in there. Again, could be pinstripe, could be pastel, could be yellow belly. And later when we do a blue-eyed leucistic video, I'll put all these bells under a black light to see if we can find anything hidden, hidden patterns. This is a black pewter. If you don't know what a black pewter is a black pastel, and a pewter is a cinnamon pastel. But this is a black pewter. Gets a much more silver tone than a typical pewter. But an amazing, amazing looking animal. Really, really cool. Hey, little buddy. I'm gonna come to you in a minute. You're chilling too, aren't you? Just hanging out in there. I think some of these were out earlier and have crawled back in the egg, it seems like. This is a lesser, pastel lesser cinnamon, I think. So a lot of times, cinnamon and black pastel look very similar, but usually cinnamon's a little cleaner and has more of these like runs where these patterns, the alien head patterns, are like linked together, which leads me to believe this is a black or a lesser pewter. Our little black pastel over there is wanting to check the whole place out. And instead of cuddling up, oh, sorry there, buddy. Instead of cuddling up with his brothers and sisters, he wants to explore. And we're okay with that. All right, got a couple more here. Just hanging out. Hey, little buddy, you ready to come out and see the world? I know that egg is comfortable, but there's nothing left in there for you. Let's go ahead and get you out. Check everything out here. See a paradoxing on there. And again, I believe we have another Bell 8-ball here. They usually, in my experience, they usually have some like paradoxing, some cool spots, like black spots there. Get you rinsed off. So lesser bamboo, might not be 8-ball, but it kind of has that similar coloration. So I'll try to keep my opinions a little bit to myself, and we'll let them shed out and check him out again and see if we can get a little more insight there, because he's not as dark as I would expect. Hey there, little buddy. Last one again, excuse me, hanging out in there, just probably a comfort thing, because there's no fluid left, definitely ready to come out. And what a beautiful, beautiful animal. Bamboo 8-ball maybe. Absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful animal. Hey there. So pretty. Oh man. Just like this silver sheen. Oh, I think I ran out of hot water. Not cold, but it's cool. Get your rinsed off, buddy, and we'll call it a day. All right, so sorry about that. With 11 snakes, it takes a little while to wash them all off, but look at this little fella. So beautiful. Everything looks great. So there you are, as much as we can see. What a beautiful clutch. So much variety in this clutch. And a little bit of something for everybody. We'll kind of keep an eye on those babies that have some challenges. A lot of times that character will just make them more special. I think all of these are equipped to do well and thrive. My biggest concern is this little 8-ball baby that has the kink in its neck. But we'll keep an eye on them. And I will do my best to update you guys, keep you posted. You might have to keep me honest. As things get busier the season and more babies hatch, it's a little easier to get into taking care of things and not take the time to record it. So if y'all want updates on these babies, make sure you remind me, and I'll do my best to keep you updated on them. But there you have it. Much better result than initially thought we had. All of these babies are alive and doing well. They all seem healthy and strong and curious, which is great. obviously. Like I said, a couple challenges to overcome, but we'll take it slow. We'll give them what they need to succeed and thrive, and we will hope for the best. I will do my best to give them the best shot at a full and complete life, and who knows? Hopefully it will all turn out right in the end. But anyway, before I ramble, let me get them put away. Again, thank you for watching. Please share the love of reptiles with anybody you can, and I'll see you guys on the next one.